If you could say about your life, "I have made but one mistake," don't you think that would be a life well lived? That's what the Roman Emperor Titus said about his life when he died in his middle years. Even though he had a short reign, he was only actually emperor for 2 years. His career was marked by big events. In this video, we'll focus on the three biggest events of Titus's career. First, let's connect the dots. After the death of Nero, 4 Roman generals took command of the empire in quick succession. In fact, the year 69 AD is known as the year of the 4 emperors. The last of these, Vespasian, was proclaimed emperor by his soldiers when he was in Judea with his son Titus leading an army. They were there to suppress one of the great Jewish revolts against Roman rule, known as the First Jewish-Roman War. When Vespasian sailed back to Rome to ascend the throne, he left Titus in charge of the war. Titus decisively ended the revolt in 70 AD by laying siege to Jerusalem, burning the city to the ground, and totally destroying the great temple. This was the first big event of his career. The destruction of Jerusalem and the temple was prophesied by Old Testament prophets, and Jesus predicted that not one stone would be left upon another. The event changed the face of Christianity and, more so, Judaism. During the reign of Vespasian, it seems that Titus was the real power behind the throne. He commanded the elite imperial guard who kept his father alive, and he would often appear in the Senate on his father's behalf. When Vespasian died, Titus naturally succeeded him. His short reign was plagued by several disasters that were out of his control. The greatest of these, Titus's second big event, was the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. In 79 AD, the volcano exploded, burying the cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum in ash and killing thousands. This was one of the deadliest volcanic eruptions in European history. While the first 2 big events of Titus's career were events of destruction, the third was one of construction. Before Titus became emperor, his father Vespasian began construction on a massive structure called the Flavian Amphitheater, named for the emperor's family name. The amphitheater was completed by Titus and became known 1,000 years later as the Colosseum. The grand opening of the Colosseum in the year 80 consisted of 100 days of games, which ranged from gladiator fights to animal fights to staged land battles and even sea battles. The Colosseum was designed to seat 80,000 people and still dominates the cityscape of Rome. It has become a symbol of the enduring legacy of the Roman civilization. Titus was beloved as an emperor, with ancient historians even calling him the delight of mankind. It was reported that once, when Titus ended a day without doing something good for someone, he cried out, "I have lost a day." Just as the reports of Nero are almost too evil to believe, those of Titus are almost too good to believe. What is clear is that Titus worked toward the security of the empire by suppressing revolt. He showed compassionate leadership during disaster, and he left lasting monuments of his generosity to the common people. He died of a fever in the Roman countryside at age 41. His last words, "I have made but one mistake," remain a mystery. What was the one mistake? At the very least, this line indicates that Titus believed his life to have been well lived.